Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the U.S. Banking Crisis Then vs Now Business Workshop for the execution of the SBA Community Navigator Pilot Program. This is MC Fan Yang, representing William Stephanie Foundation. I'm so glad you are here with us today. Before we officially start, please allow me to briefly introduce the organizer for today's event, the William and Stephanie Foundation. William and Stephanie Foundation was established to assist underserved communities of all ethnicities. Its founder, Mr. Daniel Sieu, have come from a long history of service to the community. The role of William Stephanie Foundation is the bridge between the federal and state governments and the various ethnic groups that comprise the Asian and ASEAN communities. I would also like to acknowledge our guest speakers for today's event. Honorary California State Treasurer Fiona Ma. Chairman of William Stephanie Foundation, Mr. Daniel Sieu. Managing Director of Sales of Lendistry, Mr. Bong Hu. I would also like to acknowledge dignitaries and our amazing community partners for today's event. Chairman of the Board of Active Holdings Limited, Mr. Stephen Liu. Marketing PR Director of California State Treasurer, Ms. Ling Su. We appreciate the support from Honorary Edgar B. Bajajos, Consul General of Philippine Consulate General of Los Angeles, Honorary Anil Fakhriza Dinan, Consul General of Malaysia Consulate General of Los Angeles, Honorary Kim Chai Hot, Consul General of Cambodia Consulate General in Long Beach, California. We also acknowledge our community partners from the Little Saigon TV, Idea Driver, Thai Chamber of Commerce of California, NAFA Greater Los Angeles Region, Safety Lines, Long Beach Baccalaureate Association, and the WS International Group. Next, let's welcome our first keynote speaker for today's event. Honorary California State Treasurer Fiona Ma. Please allow me to briefly introduce Treasurer Ma. Fiona Ma is California's 34th State Treasurer. She was first elected on November 6, 2018, with more votes than any other candidate for treasurer in the state's history and re-elected on November 8, 2022. She is the first woman of color and the first woman certified public accountant, CPA, elected to the position. The State Treasurer's Office was created in the California Constitution in 1849. It provides financing for schools, roads, housing, recycling and waste management, hospitals, public facilities, and other crucial infrastructure projects that better the lives of residents. California became the world's fourth largest economy, and Treasurer Ma is the state's primary banker. Presently, her office processes more than $3 trillion in banking transactions. She provides transparency and oversight for the government's investment portfolio and accounts, as well as for the state surplus funds. Treasurer Ma oversees an investment portfolio that currently averages over $200 billion, a significant portion of which is beneficially owned by more than 2,200 local governments in California. She serves as agent of sale for all state bonds and is trustee of billions of dollars of state indebtedness. Without further ado, please welcome Treasurer Ma for his first speech.
Thank you so much. It's great to see everyone here today. Where would you like me to stand?
Oh.
The camera up here? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
For the internet?
Yes.
Okay, okay, great.
Wi-Fi.
So thank you all. It's great to see everyone. And although we have had a drought for so many years and it has been raining a lot, I don't miss the rain, but I do miss the rain. So it's nice to have sun for a little bit, and I believe it'll rain again. So hopefully that will help the state of California. It's my honor to be here with the William and Stephanie Foundation, as well as USPAACC, the U.S. Small Business Administration, through their Community Navigator program, and as well as Lendistry. Lendistry has been a very strong partner for the state of California. We received $28 billion over the pandemic, and Lendistry has been the major financial administrator for at least 5 grants that I have talked about and have been very, very popular. And there are more grants coming, and I'm sure Mr. Vu will be talking a little bit about what is still out there and what will be rolling out very, very soon. So Daniel asked me to talk a little bit about the banking situation. Since I am the state banker, all of the revenues come into my office. In 2021, it was $3.2 trillion. I manage the state's short-term portfolio, as well as the short-term portfolio for 22 local government units. And that balance is about $200 billion. And I issue all the bonds for the state of California for all of the roads and the bridges and the schools and hospitals and the likes. I also chair 13 boards, commissions, and authorities that finances and funds affordable housing, children's hospitals, charter schools, public transportation, garbage and recycling, green energy, advanced manufacturing, and the likes, and then oversee 4 savings programs. One to keep students out of high student loan debt, another one for retirement savings, another one for people with disabilities, and our last one for any child who lost a parent or guardian due to COVID and long-term foster youth. We will also be giving them free money and administering their accounts. So a little bit about the banking issue. It was almost a month ago on March 10th, where I think everybody became aware of how important our banks are, both our big banks, our smaller banks, community banks, as well as our credit unions. So there's 2 types of banks here in the state of California. One is regulated by the federal government, by the SEC, the US Treasury. Those are considered national or global banks. Then there are banks that are chartered under the state of California. So they will apply for a license and they will be registered and regulated under the state of California. The 2 banks that had the issues, Silicon Valley Bank, as well as Signature Bank, was both state chartered banks. So they were banks that were headquartered in California, created here in California, licensed and regulated under California, but also regulated by the federal government due to the FDIC insurance, right? The FDIC insures depositors up to $250,000. And in my opinion, after what happened, I have been very vocal out front, have written press releases and op-eds that the federal government should be insuring all deposits. If we want our deposits to feel safe in the banks, then we should make sure that we can sleep at night knowing that our deposits are safe. There have been proposals to raise the FDIC insurance from $250,000 to $500,000. Beneficial State Bank CEO Randall Leach just issued an op-ed saying that the insurance should be raised to $10 million, because these days $250,000 is not very much, right? And if you have a company and you have to make payroll and you have 100 employees, how do you make payroll out of 10 banks? for example, it is impossible, right? We don't want people taking money out, putting it in their mattress. We want them to stay in the bank. So I will continue to advocate that all bank deposits should be insured. So what happened, it's kind of like a perfect storm, right? This is not like 2008, the home mortgage crisis, right? Where people got approved for home loans, adjustable home loans that they probably shouldn't have been approved for. And then when everything fell down, the crisis, then all of a sudden people lost their home because they could not pay back. This is a total different situation. In this case, the feds have raised rates 9 consecutive times over the last year and a half. They've never done that so quickly, to raise rates so quickly every single month to try to quell inflation. Meanwhile, like many of us, what do we do when we are saving money? We put it into something that is safe, that is long-term. And so these banks also have cash sitting around, and they invested in long-term bonds or treasury securities. Yet when the interest rates went up and depositors said, we want our money, then they lost money and they had to cash out. And when you cash out early, you have to pay interest and penalties usually. So that's what happened in this situation. But these days, remember when you wanted to go to the bank to take out money? You would go to the bank, you would fill out a form. You would have to wait because you'd have to wait for headquarters to okay it. Now, anyone can move money by a touch of a button. They can move 10 million, they can move 20 million. In that case, Silicon Valley Bank, they move 40 million in one day. And when you don't give a bank enough notice that that's going to happen, then that became a problem as well. So the federal government is looking at it. Congress is having hearings right now to determine what is the real solution so that it is not going to happen again. Jamie Dimon, just seven hours ago, he is a CEO, president, chairman of JP Morgan. He said, even if there were tighter regulations, it would not have prevented the situation, right? It was really high interest rates. The government's wish for banks to put more money into safe, long-term government securities, bonds, and then the quick run where people were, tapping their phones, withdrawing money very quickly. And that's what happened in this situation. So I believe that we should not panic. Let's keep our money in the bank because that's how our system works. We don't want to have money, in our office or in our home. Cash is not safe. People know it is just not safe. Let's keep it in the bank and hope that we are going to either raise the insurance or, make sure that all deposits are safe so that we can feel safe with our money in a bank. So that's the banking situation. Number two, the federal government has been very, very generous to help all of the states out of COVID. Now, every 10 years, we do the census where people would knock on doors and ask how many people live in your house, right? This is important because when the federal government is allocating money to us, they allocate it to us based on how many people we have in the state of California. So that's why every 10 years, we do a big push, whether it's, trying to count people who are on the street, going door to door, people that, may not be going to college, but they're not here. They want to know how many people are here because every person means $1 that we get from the federal government. So the federal government just gave us $1.2 billion to put more money into loan loss reserves and loan loss guarantees for participating lenders so that they will be encouraged to lend money to people who are having a difficult time getting money from the traditional banks. That's because this money that they gave us is going to provide a loan loss guarantee or a loan loss reserve, meaning that these lenders are not going to be on the hook if they make these loans. So we have a number of participating lenders in our program at my office as well as iBank, and we are looking for more lenders to join us so that hopefully more people will have access to capital. There are more grants coming up, and Mr. Vu will be talking about all the grants and other small business loans, but your small business development centers are the place where you should start. If you are looking for, a loan, you don't know how to do a business plan, a marketing plan, you want to understand more about the different grants, your small business development centers are funded by the U.S. Small Business Administration and the state of California. So these are free consultation services. So please go to Google it, put your zip code in, it'll tell you your small business development center location. Please go and use it because this is free. This is paid by us, right? So don't go and pay, other people. If you don't need it, start there. And that's a great place. And then at the state of California, we have a California Office of the Small Business Administrator. And this office is the one that is in charge of all of the various programs, the loans, the grants, as well as other incentive programs. So I will be here. Thank you so much for coming here today and for participating. And I look forward to answering your questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Treasurer Ma. Next, I would like to introduce our next guest speaker for today's event, Mr. Bong Hu. Bong Hu is an accomplished executive with expertise in sales, finance, banking, and investment. With over 30 years of experience, he has successfully built infrastructure and strategies for the organic growth of large regional and community banks and fintech companies. Prior to joining Lendistry, he held various leadership positions, such as the head of business banking at Commerce West Bank, senior director of sales at East West Bank, and SVP regional manager at Bank of America. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Bong supported Lendistry in providing paycheck protection programs known as the PPP loans to small businesses in all 50 states and build infrastructure and processes to distribute over $5 billion in grants from the states of California, Pennsylvania, and New York to small businesses that lost significant revenues during the pandemic. Bong currently lives in Huntington Beach, California, and enjoys helping companies and businesses achieve new heights of success. Let's welcome Mr. Bong Hu.
Thank you for inviting me today. It's hard to follow California's Treasurer Ma, but she's been a great partner with Lendistry. We appreciate your trust and confidence in us. Today, I'm going to present grant programs, some of the current grant program that Lendistry is administrator, and also there's one coming up next. At the end, I'm probably going to mention a little bit about some of the special loan programs that we have to help small businesses. So let's start with what is Lendistry, who we are. Lendistry is minority owned and technology enabled small business lender that provide economic opportunity and progressive growth for small business owners and their underserved community as a source of financing and financial education. So we are a fintech lender that using technology to help distribute grant or making small business loan. So during COVID-19, during COVID-19 pandemic, Lendistry was one of the top 10 lender for PPP program. And we also supported the state-funded small business relief grant for California, Pennsylvania, and New York State. So far, we funded $9.3 billion in small business loan and grants. And then we supported 610,000 small businesses. So what kind of grant program? We have done a lot of pandemic grants for different states. In California, we have 5 or 6 different grant programs, which we have done already. So currently, we have a program called California Nonprofit Performing Arts Grant. So this grant program, about 29.5 million going to be distributed to performing arts type nonprofit organization. Okay, so these are the type of the company is considered nonprofit, is under 4 NAICS code here. The theater companies, dinner theaters, dance company, musical and artists, or other performing arts. Okay. To qualify, you have to have registered a 501c3 nonprofit. And then you have to operate before June 1st, 2019. Yeah. After this, if you want a more detail, I can help you, but I'm going to go over just a high level of how this grant program works. All right, so grant will be awarded if the revenue is 1,000 to 100,000. The nonprofit will receive 25,000, 100,000 to 1 million. The nonprofit receive 500,000, and then from 1 million to 2 million, the applicant receives 75,000. Then we have an LA County Economic Opportunity Grant Program currently. There's 454 million to be distributed to about 608,000 grant recipients that are affected by the COVID-19. If you live in if the business located in the Los Angeles County or city, there is some rules for this grant program. So for micro small businesses, phase 1, between January 25th, actually we extended. Now it's going to be May 5th, 2023. If the business have 50,000 or less in revenue, and you're located in the county of Los Angeles or city of Los Angeles, and have not received California Small Business COVID-19 relief grant, you're eligible for 2,500. Okay, grant. So again, it's 50,000 or less in revenue based on 2019 tax year. Phase 2, which is starting now until May 20th. We got, if the businesses, it's 100,000 in revenue or below, excluding, the city of Los Angeles. So if the business located in city of Los Angeles, they're not eligible to apply for this loan. This grant, it has to be in Los Angeles County. So the 100,000 revenue or less based on 2019, 2020, or 2021 taxable years, the business can receive 15,000. Okay. And then we have small businesses grant. Now, again, this is for Los Angeles County. If the business located in Los Angeles County with revenue between 100,000 to $2 million, you can provide 2019, 2020, and 2021 income tax. If the revenue between 100,000 to 2 million, and business is not located in the city of Los Angeles, and you can receive 20,000. And the reason why we exclude a lot of the city of Los Angeles, because the city of Los Angeles have their own grant program they have given to these businesses. Okay, so this is really for businesses outside or in Los Angeles County. For nonprofit, for small nonprofit with revenue under 1 million, we have 20,000 grant award. And you must, the application, it's closing at May 20th, 2023. And the nonprofit can receive 20,000. If the nonprofit have a 1 million to 5 million in annual revenue, either 2019, 2020, or 21 tax year, they can receive 25,000, and they can be in Los Angeles City. So this is for nonprofit. Okay. All right, so this is another grant coming up. We have not finalized the grant guidelines yet, but we are forecast it's going to be May 17. That this is going to be a grant program. It's called Supplemental Pay Sick Leave Grant Program. It's currently in development. This program is for reimbursement, any costs of supplemental pay sick leave related to COVID-19. And between January 1 to 2022 to December 31st, 2022. Okay. So if you have employee, they're going out to be sick during the COVID, during last year, and you have to pay for it. The state will reimburse you. Yeah, is that right? So there's more rules will come out. We don't have the official guidelines. We are working with the California OSPA to finalize the guidelines, and we'll be announcing that. So it's upcoming next month in May. Okay, and this program, I think, is approximately 250 million to be distributed. Okay, so more information to come. You can welcome to go to lendistry.com and see more about grants and special program. Okay, as I mentioned before, we are small business lender. Our mission is to help small businesses in underserved communities. So we have special loan program. We have SBA loan program. We have state guarantee, California state guarantee program. That's guaranteed by the state to help small businesses. SBA also is a loan program that guaranteed by the federal to help small businesses. We also have new market tax credit. We call it Small Business Loan Fund. That's a federal sponsor program that also we participate in that program to help small businesses. Okay. That's all I have for today. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'll be around if you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bongfu. Okay, so before we move to our next section, I would like to make a few announcements. I also reiterate the function and the role of William Stephanie Foundation, the organizer for today's event. Like I mentioned before, William and Stephanie Foundation has hosted countless webinars and business workshops since the COVID-19 pandemic to facilitate the meaningful change between the federal and state governments and the various ethnic groups that comprise the Asian and ASEAN communities. In addition to promoting economic development of minorities, William and Stephanie Foundation also initiates and organizes positive energy events, such as cultivating teenagers' social responsibility, increasing public awareness of environmental sustainability, local scholarship program, and music healing therapy. Compared to material abundance, we believe awakening everyone's dream and having a beautiful mind is more important. We will upload this workshop to recording on YouTube. To get more fresh information about government resources, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, WS International Group. Should you need assistance in one-on-one consulting, we also have the consulting department to help you. Please email your inquiries to fanyang@williamstephaniefoundation.org, fanyang@williamstephaniefoundation.org, or text 626-387-2898. To repeat, 626-387-2898. Last but not least, please allow me to introduce our next keynote speaker, Mr. Daniel Sieu. Daniel Sieu is the chairman of William Stephanie Foundation. He was also appointed to the California Inland Empire District Export Council, CDEC, by the Secretary of Commerce, Penny Pritzker. Mr. Sieu has worked directly and indirectly with MBDA under U.S. Department of Commerce since 1997. Currently, his team is reaching out to minority communities, including East Asian and ASEAN communities, to assist business owners in becoming familiar with applying for governmental assistance programs from the federal and state government. Let's welcome Mr. Daniel Sieu.
Thank you, Fanyang, and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for attending both virtually and live. It's such a pleasure to be here to see that so many of you are interested in improving your business, maintaining your business, reaching out for more information. As mentioned, we are part of the Community Navigator program under Small Business Administration. And the main purpose of what we do is reach out to our Asian community because especially during the pandemic, we found out that so many of our Asian businesses were being left behind. They didn't have access to the different programs. They didn't know how to reach SBA. They called 800 line and they were on the phone waiting for hours. Bottom line, no one there to serve them, tell them how to get through the government red tape to reach and get the help they needed. So SBA gave us the task of reaching out to all of you to educate you how SBA works, the structure of SBA, and then even allow us to offer free technical assistance and training in getting your paperwork together for both when there's another disaster versus if you want a business loan, you want to buy your building, what have you. That's all under the SBA umbrella too, but it's a whole different division and way to do it. So to give you a basic idea, during regular times, SBA does the loan for your working capital, loan to buy your business, your building, so on and so forth. During the pandemic, they did the PPP, the EIDL, those different grant disaster-related programs. Now, the paperwork for all of them are very similar. So I highly advise if you're not sure you have all your paperwork in order, such as you need to have your credit union. If you have bad credit, it's going to kick you out. You probably won't get anything. You can work on your credit today to improve it. So if you're not sure what's good credit, bad credit, or what will affect, please take down a number and then just call us. That's one of the reasons we're here to help. Another thing is if you're not showing any taxes or you're underreporting or not reporting properly, then that's an issue too. We can kind of take a look at your situation and see what you may qualify for. Another thing is to keep you informed of all the new grant programs that are coming out because just as Mr. Bond, who reiterate, they're working on grant programs now. There's new ones coming out. And even difficult for us to track the new state and federal programs coming out. So if you sign up for our list, when these things are coming out, then we can notify you right away, or in this case, convene a meeting of businesses such as today and let you all know what the program's about. And then everyone can act in a timely fashion to get your paperwork and get funded. As an example, we were given a heads up notice on the restaurant revitalization program. Do any of you know what that program was about? So that was funding. If you had a restaurant and you closed during pandemic, they actually gave you a grant for like 1 year's income for free. But the problem is, not enough people knew about it, and those who did know about it, which was some of our clients, they were able to get the money and get funded. The money didn't last more than 2 weeks. And everyone else got left out, but unfortunately, out of matter of timing and the money's gone, so let's look to the next deal. But that's just one example. When if you had all your paperwork together, then you're in the right place at the right time. So that's why many of you are our longtime friends and clients. And those of you who are new, we hope that you will follow us and become our friends and clients as well, so that when we know these things, we can notify you and we can all move quickly to take advantage. We had distributed a few pages of information. This is not to sell your numbers to the telemarketers. This is to show SBA that we are here. We need the help. We are benefiting from this program that they put out, the Navigator program. And so when funding comes in our direction or funding is available, then they know that we're here. They know we need the funding, and we have the business community behind us to apply for this funding and wanting to improve their lives and get funding for their business and help the economy by growing and maintaining the stability. So in that, I know the different business have specific needs and specific questions. So we can also just give us a call. We can consult with you one-on-one, or just step up to any one of us after the presentation here, and we can talk about any needs you may have in the future. So in that, that's the conclusion of what I'd like to say. We appreciate all of you showing up today, and now we're going to have our question and answer period.
把投影关掉吗？
哦，
是不用的。
都是这样的。Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Sieu. Now, if you have any questions, it's the best time for you to ask the question, since all guest speakers are here today.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm very honored to meet you, Madam Treasurer, and the distinguished speakers. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Jerry Perez de Tagle. I'm Executive Vice President for a group of companies here in California in the health industry. And so we bring in investors from Southeast Asia who want to invest here, not only in our company, but also for companies in California. At the same time, I'm also very active in the Filipino American community. One estimate is that there are 2 million Filipino Americans in the state of California. So we want to help them out, because I think a lot of the issues and information you shared is not known by them. At the same time, I'm also a publisher for a local newspaper, Global Forum. First question I want to ask is, Madam Treasurer, for foreign investors who open bank accounts in California, would they also be guaranteed above 250,000 if that was approved? And so, because this is a usual question that they ask the moment they bring in some resources.
As I understand, all depositors are insured up to 250,000. So that's why for California, it's too low, right? For people who have sizable business with, payroll, it is way too low, and it hasn't been lifted or increased in many decades. So that's why myself as well as others are trying to increase the limits. But for me, if you want to ensure confidence and trust and safety, they should deposit, they should insure everybody, right? So that's where I'm going. Who knows what the outcome is gonna be through Congress. But again, your voices are all important. You should let your congressman know right now, because they are holding hearings, that if you think 250 is too low, what is the right amount? What are some of the difficulties that you're facing with your clients who are coming in, right? That concerns people if they're gonna lose money. People don't want to lose money. It's hard-earned money. So thank you for your question, but let your congressperson know right away.
Absolutely, thank you.
Good afternoon, Secretary Fiona Ma, and Mr. Wu. My question is mainly for Mr. Wu. If a nonprofit organization has taken advantage of an idle loan, the SBA, could you still apply for a grant?
Yes. I see it in apply.
So it doesn't affect.
It doesn't affect, that was the loan. Yes.
Okay, good. I'll see you later.
Oh, well.
Thank you for this special meeting. I have a small business in biology. Cancer prevention. I want to know for a biologist to build a company, what type of grants can we apply for? It's for biotech. For biotech, what kind of?
You locate, certainly if you locate in Los Angeles County, the business, you can apply for LA County grant program. If your business is located in Los Angeles County. So even if you biology company, you still can apply.
So we just moved from San Diego to Los Angeles. So we should, this is still in California, but should we also relocate the company, for the registration?
Where's your business currently located at?
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego, we don't have the grant program for that yet.
So it's better we relocate the company.
You can, if you want to. Whatever you bring up, I don't think so.
I would say, don't relocate just for this grant program. Because this money is gonna run out soon. So do what makes sense for you. California also passed 2 initiatives called the California Regenerative Medicine Act, where we are putting billions of dollars into stem cell research. And we need a lot of companies like yours to be able to give out, and again, they give out grants to small companies that are trying to come up with the latest research development for rare drugs and illnesses. So I would look under CIRM to see whether there are any specific grants related to your company.
I just want to add also that there are different government agencies such as MBDA and FBC who will go through the government database and research grant opportunities. And that's a way to see what's happening throughout the nation as far as funding for any specific industry. So we can do that research.
Since the microphone fall to my left, so I'll ask a question. First of all, I thank you, Daniel, for hosting this very important seminar, and also so glad to see Treasurer Ma here, and we came late, so I haven't get to know the other important speaker. My question is simple. I did apply the small business. I do not know what I should call small business loan. It says loan, it's a grant, especially for small business. But my business can be classified as micro business because I have a part-time employee. Mostly I do the work. And I fill out everything they required, but finally I didn't get it. According to the Chinatown, some organization, they say you better be incorporated as S or C corporation in order to get a grant. That's one thing. If you people want to apply that grant, you probably have to incorporate. But I want to ask this question from Treasurer Ma to answer this question. Another says, no, if it's a nonprofit organization, I know the church will not qualify for nonprofit advertising, but we do have a St. Vincent group inside the Catholic Church. Okay, so will that be able to qualify for similar cover? And actually, we get a grant to give out to people who are in needs. And then the third question, the final question, can you repeat the website or the YouTube that we can subscribe and re-listen to today's seminar? Thank you. By the way, I'm an economist and now we're another as an entrepreneur, Monica Chuck. Thank you.
Most of the time, the church doesn't qualify for the grant.
Yeah.
However, if you have an entity like a education center or childcare, and it's filed separate from the church, then it can be qualified.
Thank you.
So-
But tax separate, right?
Right. If you want more detail, we can chat later.
And I have a designated email, one person in my office, she just answers constituent questions. I have some handouts in the back, but the email is askfiona@treasure.ca.gov. So if you're having problems, you haven't heard back, you're looking for a specific grant or loan program, and you're having difficulty submitting it, please email me. Okay.
Hello, hi. First of all, I want to thank all of you, Daniel and Mr. Vu and Fiona for coming and for putting on such great event. I'm Romulo De Leon with Coral Reef Development Group and the World Trade Center building in Long Beach. And we do steel framing housing. My question is really towards Mr. Vu. I'm wondering if within these grants right now, if you guys have any grants towards building affordable housing. I know we spoke about affordable housing. We do steel framing and sustainable housing, earthquake resistant, so on and so forth. But I'm wondering if there's any grants right now available for small companies like ours to be able to build some of these affordable housing right now.
I don't believe we have right now, but we all have new grant programs coming up. Our grant program pretty much some general and all industry rather than specific certain type of industry. For your industry, currently we don't have that kind of grant program, but that doesn't mean in the future we don't.
And you can try Lendistry, they have really good small business loans, but like I mentioned before, either my shop CalCap for small business or the iBank. I'll give you the sheet, so it's all here. The iBank, you can go to one of the participating lenders and they may be able to give you a loan for your business. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Roma, were you referring to a business loan or a loan for your client who's buying?
The loan for clients that are buying or investing in affordable housing, because we supply the steel framing, we supply atmospheric water treatment, solar panel, and we make it earthquake resistant. But many clients are having problems finding financing or grant in order to build these affordable housing. It's easy to find a loan to build an apartment for $5,000 a month, but you cannot find investors to invest in affordable housing or low-income housing. It's really hard unless it's your own money.
I think in the ADU area, that's where the real void is. The fact that you have these people, they just happen to have space on the property, but maybe they're retired or very low income, and that it's not going to cash flow below. And so there's a problem in that you don't have a secondary market like Fannie and Freddie Mac to finance that. There are groups trying to put the money together to act as a bank to do that kind of thing. But nothing I've seen yet has come to the market, and you being in business would kind of be the second people to know, because they're working hand in hand with you. They want the loan from your client and you want to be able to pay. So maybe working together, we can try to put something together.
Great, thank
Yeah,
you.
so the state of California, the last 2 years during COVID, we did have a record surplus. And so there was money going into specific programs. So one was an ADU grant for $40,000. And this could be for, pre-construction, whatever loan costs. But that program, again, they use up the money. They're not planning to replenish it. Ever, if you talk to your assembly member and your senator and tell them that this would really be advantageous, right? Getting that $40,000 grant program helps you, right? Start the construction so that you can get permanent financing down the road, because you can't get permanent financing until you have it built, and then you have a tenant that shows that there's cash flow. And so it is something I talked to his boss about, Everett Sands, is that we need some low interest line of credit for homeowners, for small business owners, while they're either waiting for, the payment from the government or, creating the ADU. I mean, this is really the missing part in our financial capital system, in my opinion, is this like short-term, low-interest line of credit for people like us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. We also received an inquiry from our online audience. So the online audience asks, I think this question is for Mr. Bong Wu, Lendistry. Approximately when does Lendistry anticipate the employee paid sick leave from January the 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022 for COVID grant coming out?
We expecting we haven't finalized all the guidelines, but we're expecting to launch somewhere May 17th. So May 17th.
So launch, but then how long is the application,
That I don't know yet. That's why I say it's still in development.
usually?
Uh, Yeah, usually it's 3 months, 3 months to apply. So, well,
Yeah, so I put information like this on Twitter as soon as I know. Twitter, my handle is @Fiona Ma, but as soon as I know these programs are coming, I try to put it out there. Hey, get ready, go see, a counselor or a nonprofit that can help you make sure that when the money is available, that you're ready.
Hi, thank you, first of all, for being here, for providing the service. My name is Jasmine and I help small businesses. But I'm wondering, maybe there's I have two questions. Number one is there's several federal programs coming out for electrical business, like chargers, EV, like clean energy, as well as affordable housing program from the federal. So I'm wondering how you work with the federal government, or is that just a separate thing, like the state thing versus federal thing? Secondarily, I don't know about everybody else here, but I really don't know, like I tried to talk to my congressman, but it hasn't proven to be very easy. So for us to support you, to support us by telling our congressman on what we need something really quick, can help us to direct, that would be great. And actually, I personally, I'm part of the Bear Council representing Stanford University. So if I can help to help people here through Daniel and Ben, I'd be happy to. So it's just wanted to say that.
So each member of Congress should have a public email where you can email any comments or requests that you may have. So they all should have some email, whether it's monitored or not, whether you get a response back or not, but continue to do that. Most of the programs at the federal level, they allocate it back to the states. And then have the state government decide which agency to put it in, and then let the agency create the guidelines. So all the grants that came from the federal government for COVID went to the Office of Small Business Advocate. And then they contracted through an RFP process with Lendistry, who then Lendistry had to come up with all the guidelines and timelines and, you know, how to roll out the money. So that's usually how it works. Some of them go directly to the federal government, but then you work with one of the agencies like Small Business Administration or the US Department of Ag, or you know, the Department of Defense, for example. So Daniel. That's his question.
Regarding your renewable energy type grants, they'll probably be published on the grants.gov, which is the federal grant opportunity website. And under Department of Energy.
We have. So unfortunately, in California, we have two. I do some of the renewables, the charging stations, the conversions of trucks, diesel trucks into, you know, cleaner trucks, sales tax exemption programs for people buying equipment that is cleaning and greening. So I have some under my CAPA, California Alternative Energy and Transportation Finance Authority. And then the other one is through the governor's office. I think it's the Department of Energy or Resources, Natural Resources. So there's a lot. So maybe you email me and give me your specific question, and then Catherine will direct you to my office.
Luke. Hey.
Hi.
Andrew Anson with Idea Driver. Big fans of everybody here on the stage. Two things. One is I'm actually looking for case study clients who are spending more than $20,000 in electricity a month. So just FYI, I'm trying to help them with that. And then secondly, Daniel, I was hoping you could share. I heard a little birdie say that the industry has really good contractor financing. I think for small businesses in particular, when you get that big contract, but the money's going to be delayed coming in. And so I just wanted to share that I heard you guys have a pretty good program.
Sure. I can answer the question about contract financings. This is a new program, new product that we developed. Pretty much, if you're a contractor, let's say you're an electrician, and you got a contract, you would come in to us because you don't have any kind of funding. You have to pay your employees money before you get paid, right? That's normally how it works. We would finance about 30% of your contract. Give you that money, then you would go and purchase the inventory, use that for working capital, and then you can pay us back when you receive that. So this is called contract financing. We are rolling it out. We don't have a lot of information on our website yet, but we will. We are piloting. I think we are doing a couple deals right now. But you are welcome to come on our website. It's going to be a big push for us to come out with contract financing.
Only to contractors. Contractors. Okay,
Yes.
that's good. Also, we have programs called Go Green Financing. If you are trying to save energy through retrofits, whether it's LED lights or HVAC or thermal, windows, or if you're a restaurant and you need a new, kitchen stove. So that's gogreenfinancing.com is the general website, and we have financing for residential, small business, as well as multi-family apartment buildings.
Okay, thank you to have this seminar today. And my name is Olawan. I'm the Secretary of the Thai Chamber of Commerce. And thank you for Daniel to invite us to be here today and with Treasurer Ma and Mr. Wu. Anyway, we can see what happened with the grant, and a lot of business did not get to know what's going on. And when they submit application, there's a lot of issue. And the structure, I have to say this way, I don't know who held together to do the underwrite, especially about this grant, EOG grant, Economy Operating Grant for Los Angeles County. We can say it's a micro business. You talk about $50,000 or under. Business under $50,000 is not enough to pay the rent in Los Angeles County. We have to extend the loan, the grant, because a lot of application been denied. This part is maybe in the future about next grant. Maybe the business owner or the Chamber of Commerce, we can put the head together. We're not out of touch regarding about whatever business need help. Because to write out the structure and then what is on the website did not help for the applicants to submit application. A lot of business lost opportunity, sorry. And especially some people who own a business, restaurant business. I experienced a lot with the Thai community. Either language barrier or we don't have the good technology. Now we have to do selfie on this application. It's very hard for the small business and the micro business. Is that any possible? Can we move on forward and fix the problem of today?
Thank you. So that is a problem. And that's why we spent a lot of time doing, like over 100 webinars, Zoom during COVID to our ASEAN brothers and sisters, because we knew that they were not getting the information and they weren't accessing the grants. So we are continuing to do that. Why I'm here today in person, because I'm very committed to this. We have a new program that just launched on Friday. It's called the Dream for All Fund. This is free down payment assistance for first-time home buyers that are under a certain income level, right? So this is free money. You don't have to pay it back to help you with down payment assistance up to 20% of the cost of the home or the appraised value, whatever is less. And you pay us back, the government, when you sell your house or when you refinance after 2 times. Then you have to pay us back with a small percentage. I think it's about 2.5%. So that is called shared appreciation. We have, I think, 500 million in the account. We just opened it on Friday, but you do have to get some educational, there has an educational component. You have to go through a nonprofit where they train you. They want to make sure you're who you are, that you understand what a mortgage is. You understand that, rates go up sometimes, that you're going to pay it back, that it's your obligation. It's, even though it's free down payment assistance, you still have to pay the government back eventually. So, those are the type of training. So the faster you can do that training, the faster you can apply for this free down payment assistance. But again, that just opened up last Friday, 3 days ago.
Yeah, I ask a question for the Treasurer Ma just talked about, because I have my house, but I informed some of my friends who enter in the house. So, but they told me that the house has to under certain price that I know, 750,000 by United, is it correctly, and has to be certain distressed area. Is that so? And I just learned from you that there's an interest, like 2.5 for the money they borrow, and how often they have to borrow this money, and who provides valid information besides working on some website. Thank you.
Yeah, so I also have not gotten briefed, even though my office was in charge of doing the RFP for this program. So I'm waiting to get briefed, but what I know is that there is a website. There are organizations out there that help with financial planning, credit enhancement, because like we've talked about, if your credit is not good, you're not going to qualify. And then this program does have parameters. You know, you can't go out and buy a $2 million house, right? That is not, the program is really as a starter program to get people into their first house so that they can build equity. So there are limits in terms of how much the house, what area, how much income you earn. But let me know. Again, it's on my flyer here. You can start there at the website or text me and I can see whether there's someone that can help you directly in your area.
May I have your email again?
Yeah, ask, A-S-K,
Ask Fiona.
ask Fiona at STO,
Oh, STO.
State Treasurer's Office, STO.ca.gov.
Okay, thank you.
And then you can maybe send me your information or your friend's information, where do they live, and then I can figure out what organization is doing this training.
I sign on that sheet, right? Oh, separate.
Yeah, send it to me. I have my business cards as well for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'd like to go back to the question posed by our representative. Mr. Vaughn, she was referring to the program that LA County is currently administering.
Correct.
And what they're asking is a way for reconsideration because so many of the applicants it's got turned down with no reason why they don't know what happened.
Yes, you can still want a second review. You can contact the call center on a website. And you say, I want to have a second review, and then someone will review it, and then we'll get back to you on your program. You can see me later if you want to, but yes, there's a process. You don't like the decision, call call center, you ask for a second review, and then we have a team that come in and do a second review, and then we'll contact, get back to you. We definitely want to give our grant. That's really our job to give out money. Not saying no. We want to say yes, right? That's the whole point.
Is that Lendistry? Is that you?
Yes.
Okay, we can call him.
I have a business, so I can give that to you.
A lot of times people don't answer the phone. Or the email.
Yeah, we have
Dear audiences, if you have any more questions, this is your best time to ask them. Raise your hand. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting us to this special event so we can face to face and talking to Lendistry and our treasury. And also I just know about your foundation today. Let me first introduce myself. I'm the CPA. Actually, I met Ms. Fiona before in our CPA association. So I have been helping a lot of my clients. My office is located in Diamond Bar. So I'm also a YouTuber too. My viewers around like over 100,000. So I'm willing to promote those events like the great information to my client. Actually, I have helped my clients to apply for the PPP and also the EDD program and a lot of the grants like the micro and enterprise loans. For LA County and also for San Bernardino County as well. So I thank you so much for Lendistry for helping all of us in California, those loan opportunity. And I also receive a lot of Lendistry emails as well too. There's always have a new loan rates. And most of our clients, we always help them to find the most best rate in order to help their business, like restaurants, some of the companies that are doing transportation. My question is, maybe I'm thinking because there are so many new entrepreneurs, like young people, they don't have really good credit built up, and then they also need the funding to start their business. And I heard about the Dream Fund. Remember that you guys provided Dream Fund before, but I think that's already expired. So I'm hoping that California can help those young people around like from 25 to 40, this age range, to help them to have their own small business started. And also there are lots of the business big company in North
California. They laid off a lot of people. I'm pretty sure those high value people, they know how to start their business, but they don't know, they might have the knowledge to work for somebody else, but they don't have the knowledge to build up their small business. So I really appreciate if we can have those kind of dream fund starting again, and then set up the workshops for those age from 25 to 40 or 35. That's going to help our California a lot. And plus, we have a really high, I saw the status. It's about ranking number 7 for California tax rates, state rates, income tax rate. So a lot of people, they move away from California to different states like Texas or Florida. So maybe that people want to start doing business in California, the California income tax rate will kind of push them away to Texas or Florida or like Seattle. So is a good way to help our new generation starting up their new business, and also help those people they just got laid off and then they want to open another window to start up their new business. I think this is something that we can help them and help our next generation.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been working since I was 10 years old. Okay. I don't know how many of your kids are working, like babysitting, newspaper route, whatever, mowing lawns, right? This next generation doesn't work like we do. They don't understand the value of money. So I really believe that financial literacy is so important for these young people. I've had 1,000 interns come through my office and they need to do financial literacy, a module before they can continue to do other projects. There is a bill right now that would mandate a certain amount of hours of financial literacy before someone can graduate from high school. I think that is important because when these young people go to college, all these credit card companies come and say, free credit card. Well, they don't tell you that it's not free. You have to pay it back, and it's maybe 18% interest. And who's going to pay it back? What 18-year-old can pay back, a $2,500 credit card? And then they're embarrassed to tell your parents, and that's when their credit starts going the wrong way. So we need to teach our young people. Number 2, credit is important, right? There are ways for people to improve their credit score. And you don't need to have a perfect score to get a loan, but you have to have like the minimum. It cannot be poor. Like there's a wheel we just saw this weekend in Barstow, and there's, like bad, poor, okay, good, great. You don't have to have great, but you have to have good. And so there are organizations that teach you how to improve your credit score. So I think it's very important. These young people, they want to start a business. They have to know what their credit score is and that they need to improve it. They should work on that first. And that grant program was great because you did like an 18-month program. So people that didn't know anything about finance or marketing or advertising, how to set up their website, they had to go through this program. And then after they got $10,000. And so we heard at the Lendistry opening that these people took advantage of it and that actually worked. So I agree with you, but there also should be some, some training that goes into it before you get the money.
One thing I wanted to touch on as well, working with the state treasurer and in our office, we've noticed that there's been a number of scams going on, whether it's through the mail or email or what have you. If you have anything suspicious that you're not sure is real or not, first of all, don't click on it. Second of all, if you can forward to us, we can take a look and determine whether it's legitimate or not.
Yeah, so as soon as you open up and start an LLC, your information is public on the state's website, and all these companies will start sending you notices. Hey, do you need advice? Oh, we looked at your application and you owe money. And then they pretend that they're the government. So there's a lot of misinformation and scammers out there. Government agencies will never call you and ask you for your personal information, your social security number. They will never ask you. So if someone calls you and says, hey, we're just checking, we see you open this account, we're from the IRS. What is your social security number? Don't give it to them. If they ask you, what is your bank routing number? It seems like we have the wrong number. We just need to double check. Don't give them your bank number. Don't ever. Banking, social security, never. If they're asking, it is a scam. Okay, and then beware, sometimes on your computer, I live with my dad who's 88, so I know. He has this like pop-up that says, your computer is frozen. You need to call this 800 number. And he did that once. That was a problem because then he had a, infection in his computer. So now he knows that these are scams, right? Because he's on his computer all day. So he goes, oh, maybe I did something, call the number. Don't call those numbers. Okay, turn off, reboot your computer for starters. Okay, and if it still happens, then take it down to a local merchant to make sure that there is really a virus, but don't call these numbers.
And here's just one example of one what we saw come through, and actually this is a scam.
Yeah.
We had determined through the state treasurer's office.
Right.
Not a good one.
Right. It says distraint warrant. What is a distraint warrant? Number one, but it looks like it's kind of legal, right? So you can always email, fax it to me, to Daniel, to whoever your SBDC, your accountant, before you pay these bills.
Due to the time limits, that's all for today's Q&A session. I would like to make a final announcement. If you would like to reach out to Treasurer Fiona Ma, please send emails to askfiona@treasurer.ca.gov. It's the subject line, Ask Fiona, or you can reach out to the beautiful lady in the red, Miss Ling Sieu, Marketing PR Director for Treasurer Fiona Ma. That's all for today's event. This is MC Fan Yang signing off, and I hope every one of you have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.